Hello, youth of the country and all over India or anywhere in the globe. So, this is about my book, Resilient Underdog Innovator. It's mainly talks about how a youth can actually start his own business along with the job and then retire early in their 30s. So, do you want a life where you don't want to get stuck in a traffic and daily 9-11 hours of work? I'm sure you're all going through this fast life where you don't really enjoy what you're doing, but you're just doing for the living. So, instead of that, if you develop the creative mind of yours, then fill your passion with whatever domain it is. It could be related to finance or a profession of doctors or engineers, or it could be of any profession, any domain, banking, finance, pharmaceutical, whatever it is. If you combine this, the problems that you see around your environment, and then apply those problems to find solutions to those problems using big data and AI, that is going to be a transformation of your life, and you can not only work towards the passion that you have, but you can also find the financial freedom that you want. You don't have to just get bored of getting following some boss telling you to do this and that. And I'm not saying it's not wrong to have a profession as a software engineer or a performance engineer or a data engineer, but what I'm saying to say is, end of the day, you are a slave for something and you want to break free from this. Because see, I am from a very middle class family. I was born in a village called Tiger Gradal, Pilitotlu, in Karnataka, and I was brought up in a city called town Bhadravati, Shivaga district. But I was very introvert in the beginning, and later there was a transformation that happened when I came to Bangalore. That was something which I cannot express in words. So I saw a different mind shift that happened in me. So when you change your environment, you have a different change in your character, and that brings about change in your life. So do you want to have a mediocre life or have a billionaire mindset and do whatever you like to do, what is close to your heart? Live a life dil khol ke jiyo. Live a life of dil khol ke jiyo. Right? So this is what this book is all about. So I would encourage highly to bring your ideas and scale them to get maximum profits using big data, AI, and all the technologies. And this is not a technical book. This is some of my personal stories, some of my environment that I spent, those stories, some of the anecdotes that I had, some of the motivational stories of different ideas that I had. So it's not a boring technical book, but it's a very interesting and engaging. Of course, it is left to you guys to say whether it is so. But I want the youth to retire in their 30s. So when I say retire in the 30s, I don't mean that you stop working. I'm just saying that you just work at the time that you want to work. See, we end up in our jobs working almost 9 to 11 hours. So we earn money giving our time, and we are left with less time for the family, for personal health, or you know, the life should not go in the survival mode. It has to go out of the survival mode to the comfort zone that we usually get into. I have spent 2 decades of my career, and let me tell you that I had everything. I mean, but uh, the basic expenses that covered of shelter, food, and the expenses I could cover for everything. I have everything today, but I don't have the fulfillment of trying to do something. I want to create always. I wanted to do something that is there in my mind. So, for example, I had something like, create a image of the dreams that I used to have, so that you can interpret your dreams, and then that would give a different angle to the psychology of the human mind. So this book is about not only the career growth you can have, but also holistic growth, not only in terms of health, wealth, but also happiness. Following some of the techniques and rituals that I have mentioned in the book. So this comes from my years of experience. So I have been doing yoga from my childhood, but I have not really taught somebody how to do yoga. So those experiences that I had throughout my life, so I have the learnings that I had, the wisdom that I had, so I have used that for writing this book. So this book is going to give you the career growth that you want, and the skills, the direction that you should go to build your own business, no matter you are a dancer or you want to get into the food business, or you want to have a kind of instead of the traditional jobs that we have, doctor, engineer, or any of those, right? So instead of that, you can build your own business and make money by implementing those solutions, the problems that you find around. So finding solutions for those, and then coming up with bringing your ideas to reality. So that is this all about. But you might say, I am young, I don't know much, I don't have skills, how do I go about it? But this book gives you the direction how to manage all that. So you might just think, this could be one of the risks that you might take, which could be a new story in your completely entire new life, a new lifestyle. So one of my friend, actually in our 2 decades of career, he was working in Cognizant. I have worked in different companies like Infosys, Azure Systems, IBM, HP. So these are all big multinational companies that I have worked for, and I have moved from service companies to product companies. But I never had I enjoyed in the initial phases. It was giving me money, it was taking care of all my expenses, but it was not giving me the full fulfillment of creating something of my own. And also the financial freedom. I don't have the financial freedom today. You have 2 decades of work. Of course, it depends on the success, depends on each individual, but for me, having financial freedom is the most important for a family, to lead a time with my family. Because if I go to work today, I come back late, 9 to 8 p.m. and I can't continue to work beyond that, working for US clients, connecting to calls. So the whole 10 to 15 years and more of the IT world has spent into this. So I don't want the youth to undergo the same phase. When I lost my father, I was working in a startup and it was a recession time, and I didn't know what to do next if I lost the job. Luckily, I didn't lose the job. But that moment, when I retrospect, it gives me immense pain of both emotional and financial burdens that I had at that point of time. I don't want the youth of today to go through the same thing. That's the reason this book is come to reality. I hope this inspires you and gives you a new life that you really want. Thank you. One of my friend who, like in this, when he was the age of around 25, we joined Infosys, he joined Cognizant, and some of the friends joined TCS. We are all young IT engineers, right? So he somehow realized this quite early, and Nayan Ambati, his name is Nayan Ambati. So he quit his job in Cognizant. He followed his passion into banking and microfinance, and then today we are not made even 1% of what amount of money that he has made. He has made more than nearly crores of money, more than 50 crores. So we can't even imagine that in our lifetime. I don't want the youth to undergo this. You can transform your mindset. You can follow the concepts of Atma Avarana and Atma Vichara in the book that I have mentioned, which will transform you the concepts of Dvaita and Advaita. So it's a more spiritual process of transformation that you will go through as a personality. I hope this finds you a new direction of retiring early in your 30s.